Welcome back to From the Cheap Seats. I'm your host, Charlie Jimenez, and today we're going to dive into March Madness, a battlefield where giants and underdogs clash and chaos reigns supreme. So I got to ask y'all, how are your brackets looking right now?
Yeah, last I checked, and I'm looking at 19.1%. I'm cooked, absolutely cooked. I don't really put much effort into my main bracket, so I'm cooked. That's all I gotta say. What are you looking at, Max?
So I made 25 brackets because I felt like going to the ESPN limit. The one bracket that I really made, and I'm calling my bracket, is the one that I put in all the competitive groups. I had a 77.4%. I picked Louisville, like most of the world. I picked UC San Diego. I picked VCU. I picked Lipscomb because why not? I picked Memphis there. There's a lot of ones that were wrong, but in one of my brackets, this was the 20th one I made. We'll come out the gate. We're at a whopping 98% right now, so at least one of the 25 is paying off. The ones on that I missed were only I picked Memphis, I picked Missouri, and I picked Clemson. Issue with that, you think it'd be fine just 3 losses. Issue with that is I had both Memphis and Clemson moving on to the Sweet 16, and I even had Missouri going to the Elite 8. So first round is fine, we're at a 98%, but we're losing possible points fast because the picks that I have that have been lost are moving pretty far. So hopefully we can, come back from that.
74%. And then what'd you say the other one? 98? Dang, okay, so that's insane. I'm in the toilet right now. I'm like 49% or something like that. I obviously had Louisville winning, Clemson kicked me in the butt, and Kansas is really the one that did it in for me. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But in terms of who I have winning it overall, I think Florida, the obvious team to win it. I don't know about y'all, but Florida is like the best all-around team. Don't get me wrong, I love Duke. I love what they're doing. But Florida is 7-3 against the top 25 teams this season, and that's incredible to me. Duke is 4-2. And Florida has a bigger point differential than Duke does. So what about y'all? Who do y'all think's winning it all this year?
I have Duke. When you have a generational guy like Cooper Flagg, I don't really see you not making a good run. I see at least a Final Four berth, if not a championship. I think Cooper Flagg's a one-of-a-kind talent, and I think he can take him all the way. Max?
Yeah, in my main bracket, I do have Duke, mainly just for the power of Flagg. In the bracket that's currently cooking, I have Florida, like Charlie was saying. But I think a sleeper team, and people may be like, oh, what are you talking about? Did you watch the first game? I think we're sleeping on St. John's here. I know that it was part of the Omaha game where they were looking a little weak, but I think as many people agreed, St. John's is a powerhouse in this tournament, and I would not be shocked if we see a St. John's victory in this year's March Madness.
I'm going to go out and say that's crazy, first of all. Like, dude, I get Rick Pitino, but St. John's, they're like a complete fraud to me this year. They've only gone against bums, and I feel like once they progress into the tournament, they're kind of cooked, bro.
I hear you. I see your point, but hear me out. Look, they just beat Omaha. It was a slow start, but they ended up getting 30 points, all right? Like 30-point win. Moving on, I say Arkansas is a quick win. I think they can beat Arkansas. I know Arkansas is good. They just beat Kansas. I think that's a quick win over Arkansas. Coming down to the Sweet 16, it's Drake or Texas Tech. I think they can beat both of those teams clear out, especially Drake. Less Texas Tech, but I think I could be
not Texas Tech. Texas
I think
Tech.
St. John's a clear win over those.
Texas.
Getting to the Elite 8, obviously Florida's going to be hard. I think St. John's can pull it off, and then they're in the Final Four, and then it's barbecue chicken from there. I think St. John's is a serious powerhouse here.
Dude, I'm gonna give this take a maxed out. That's actually stupid, like for real, bro. Like okay. Well, other than that, I think that's actually stupid. Listen, I love Rick Pitino, but dude, do you think that slow start's gonna do them any good against a team like Duke or Florida or Tennessee? Like, dude, what's going on? What do you think, Charles? What do you think about that?
I like St. John's. I don't know if it's a Final Four appearance, but I do like the ambition. I think they definitely have a good chance. They're a good squad. Like you said, they can't come out slow against a team like Duke. I mean, if they bring their A game, second round, all the jitters are out. They'll bring their A game. I think they got a shot, but Final Four might be a little wild. We'll see. We'll see though.
I definitely agree on the last part of the Final Four. All right, now we'll move on to our next session, Maxed Blitz.
You ready to hear the real take?
I'm maxed out. What's the real take, bro?
This is the real take. All right, and let me explain for a little bit. We're in March Madness. We got a Final Four. I do not think we will see a number 1 seed in the Final Four. Hear me out. You ready? Okay. I think the first one is guaranteed. Houston's not making the Final Four. I think Houston's losing to Gonzaga, McNeese, UCLA, or Tennessee.
Okay, the McNeese take is crazy, but they get bounced pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay, I think Houston's cooked. Florida, like you're saying, is one of the better ones. I think there's two possibilities for what happens to Florida. An amazing St. John's game. St. John's just cooks them. Or the Cinderella of the tournament is Drake. I think I think Drake could be such a good Cinderella team. I don't think Florida makes it. Just because of pure chaos and pure March Madness. Auburn, okay. Creighton looked phenomenal in the first game. They beat Louisville. Many people had Louisville beating Auburn. If Louisville can beat Auburn, so can Creighton. Okay, you see what I'm looking at? Also, second that, Michigan State might be the best number 2 seed. It's either them or Tennessee, in my opinion. I think Michigan State can easily take over Auburn. They're evenly matched in my head. Lastly, Duke. See, that's the tough one because Duke's good. Cooper Flag is good. If there's already 3 number 1 seeds out, I don't think my take is too crazy, especially in a side of the bracket that has guys like Oregon, BYU, Wisconsin looked great coming out the bat. Vanderbilt is going to beat Alabama and might beat Duke. We'll see how it goes. But that's my hot take is there will be no number 1s in the Final Four.
I'm going to give that a hot because you know what? I could maybe see it happening. But here's my thing with Duke. I think the only way for them to lose is to get bounced by Wisconsin in their defense. And maybe St. John's, Rick Pitino in a good game plan. Who knows? But that's wild. What do you think of that take, Charles?
Yeah, I think it's probably room temperature, to be fair. I think for all of that to go right, I mean, the odds are so low. I could see, Florida getting out or Duke getting out potentially, even, Houston. But for all 4 number 1 seeds to go out, I just don't see it happening.
That would be a maxed out, by the way.
Shoot, my bad. Well, listen. I mean, I just don't see it happening. I could see, 3 of the 4 going out before then, but, a team like Duke or a team like Florida, I think we're looking at least one of those, getting to that spot. But listen, it happened last year, I believe. All the 1 seeds didn't make it, if I remember right, and so could happen. I would love to see. I love a good upset.
Dude, I won't lie, so do I. All right, next we're gonna move away from the little childish game of college basketball real quick, and go over to the Charles crossover. So Charles, educate us.
Yeah, listen, my crossover of the day is Bronny James, 17 points career high in minutes played. Listen, I know they didn't play with Austin Reeves, LeBron, and he's kind of playing garbage minutes. But listen, 17 points for the amount of minutes he played is super solid. He's coming off that injury back in college. I think, let him get his rhythm. Let him get that. Once he gets that rhythm going, I think he can. He ain't never going to be an all-star, maybe not even a starter. But he could be a solid, role player coming off the bench. And I would love to see that, not only for LeBron, but just for Bronny himself. I want to see his confidence go up, get that 3-point percentage going. He's kind of struggled from out deep, but if he can get his confidence up, I would love to see a good Bronny James Showtime Lakers in the future. You never know.
Dude, that would be kind of fire, too. And especially, young Bronny.
He had a better stat line than Curry. Just put that out there. Yeah, Curry sucked. Go Bronny. He's the GOAT.
I mean, Curry did get injured. He had that big injury yesterday, and I think no one doubts that Steph Curry is better than Bronny. So
there's no doubt Curry's better than Bronny.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a good storyline, Bronny putting up better numbers than Curry.
I think, if anything, he'll be, like he said, a Drew Holiday in this league. Good on defense, somewhat good on offense, good at passing the ball around. That's really all his team needs him to be. They don't need some superstar player who lives up to his dad's hype. They need someone who's willing to play his role, willing to do his job, and get them a win.
Yeah, I agree. If he can have his assist-to-turnover ratio pretty high, if he can at least get it above 2.5, maybe even 3, I mean, we're talking he's getting at least 20 minutes a game. So if he can get that assist-to-turnover ratio up, and then also just his 3-point shooting, as I mentioned, his confidence, he sees all the hate online. So, I mean, that definitely I can see plays a role in his lack of 3-point shooting. But if he can consistently hit the 3 and get that assist-to-turnover ratio up, I think he's looking at least 20 minutes a game, solid role player. So, yeah, that's my crossover.
No, dude, that's a good one. I'll give you that. That's a good one. All right, next up, we're going to move to the hot list. All right, taking a step forward back into March Madness, I got to ask, who do y'all think is a hot streak? On a hot streak right now. They're not a legit team, but they're just on a hot streak.
Yeah, McNeese, listen, I know they beat Clemson yesterday. It's a big upset, but listen, Clemson was so bad. The amount of terrible turnovers that I saw. I mean, they put up a bunch of good deflections, good rips on the drives, but Clemson was shooting their percentage from the field was so bad, and I just don't see another March Madness team given such a terrible showing as Clemson did yesterday. So I think McNeese is a one and done. I mean, I'm super happy for them to get that upset, but it ain't happening again.
I'm going to be straight with you, bro. That's a good one. But I'm also going to be straight again. I think Arkansas is on hot streak right now. I am not a Calipari fan. Many of you know this if you've listened to me talk sports for years. I think he's a better recruiter than he is a legit coach. He needed that win against Kansas for the sake of his reputation. And it's not like he hasn't beaten Kansas in the past before with other teams. I mean, heck, he has Bill Self's number in a sense. But I think they're going to get bounced next round. By who did they play? Arkansas. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Rick Pitino is going to figure this dude out. And when he does, he's going to send Arkansas to Cancun, dude. All right. What do you think, Max?
I think they're real. I think St. John's might just be realer. I think Charles, you're being ridiculous. McNeese is legit. They're going all the way. I think Drake is real. I think a lot of teams are real. I'll give you two teams that I think are on a hot streak. One, Colorado State beat Memphis. I thought Memphis was going to be pretty good. I have a couple brackets at least when they're in the Final Four. I think Memphis was a sleeper for this bracket. Colorado State beat them. Couldn't tell you how. They're going to get crushed by Maryland in the round of 32, and I'm pretty confident in that. I think Maryland's a great team. They have a huge chance to beat Florida eventually. I think Maryland's a sleeper, and Colorado State's fake. The second team I think is fake is Houston. I know that's the number one seed, but I know this is like, what do you mean they're on a hot streak? They're number one seed. No, they're on a hot streak. All right, Houston came into this game number one seed. They're all cocky. Gonzaga is going to beat them. If they don't beat Gonzaga, McNeese is going to beat them. If they don't beat McNeese, they are not surviving Tennessee. And I'll tell you that right.
Okay, I agree with
Houston is fake.
I agree with the Tennessee one, but you're on a hot streak right now with hot takes, dude. Yeah. I think
McNeese State is not going all the way.
Yes, they are. Charles is lying.
I would love to see it. I would love to see a high seed like that, make a big run. But listen, it ain't happening.
$4 says McNeese makes it farther than Houston. $4. McNeese makes it farther than Houston.
Official bet. Insane.
Wow. I think I just won a free $4.
Crazy take. I don't think Houston's on a hot streak, dude. Houston has the best defense in the nation. They've had it for the past 3 years, dude. Although they will probably get bounced out next round or in the Sweet 16. I think they still have a very good shot to make it to the Final Four if they get their offense on track. All right. Next up, moving on to the next session. Welcome to Charlie's Chalkboard, where I rank anything from coaches, teams, players, or anything you send me. It could be food. It could be anything. All right, we're going to start with the number 10 team in the nation, in my opinion. I think Wisconsin. Wisconsin should have won the Big Ten championship. And personally, I think that loss to Michigan was really just a fluke. Michigan's defense was really on their game that day. And they're top 20 in blocks per game. A stout defense should perform well in this tournament. All right. Number 9, I have Texas Tech. They win each game by an average of 13.2 points per game. That's 11th in the nation. And JT Toppin is obviously their best player. Leads them in points per game and rebounds, and steals. And I could see them maybe making a run this tournament. We'll see. They're one of the ones that it's really out there. Number 8, I have Michigan State. They had the best three-point defense out there. In a tournament like this, when you've got teams like Auburn, not Kansas, Alabama, Florida, Duke, teams that can lob up threes and make a game a blowout real quick, this is needed to make it a close game. And I think they can go make a deep run maybe. Number 7, I have Tennessee. Some say they should be 6, but I think that win against Auburn was kind of a fluke, if you ask me. I love Zakai Zeigler as the best player, and I think they could maybe make the Final Four. They're set up for it. They were able to beat Auburn in the SEC tournament at 80-75. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, number 6, I have Auburn. If it wasn't for that loss to Tennessee, I would probably have them at 3 over Houston. Oh, probably shouldn't have said that. But Yeah, really good team led by the guy who I think is going to get the Naismith Trophy, Janai Broom, one of the best offenses in the nation. And the only reason Bama beat them was because of a game-winning shot. But do you have something to say about that, Max? Okay. Number 5, Alabama. Everybody's going to say, Alabama lost in the SEC tournament to Florida. Yeah, they beat Kentucky by, 20 points almost. And not only that, this is the same Kentucky team that beat Duke. So that's impressive. They've gone against 25 March Madness teams this year. That's the most in the nation. And they had a big gauntlet run, too, to go against. And they have the nation's leading offense at 91.1 points per game. And they lead the league the nation in rebounds per game with 43.1. So, yeah, they're an all-around solid team. I think if they get Grant Nelson back, they can definitely make a Final Four. Number 4, St. John's. Feels like a fraud. If any of you know college football, it feels like that TCU team from the year that Georgia won the national championship. But we'll wait and see. I think Rick Pitino is obviously the best coach in the NCAA right now. You can't debate that. Undisputable. Number 3, I got Houston, best defense in the nation, but they'll probably get bounced in the Sweet 16, let's be honest. But based on pure power, I think they're 3. Number 2, gotta get a drum roll, please. Duke is 4-2 against top 25 opponents, and they win by an average of 7.2 points per game. They did lose to Kentucky, but they did beat Auburn 84-78, so I thought that was impressive. They lead the nation in point differential per game with 20.7. They obviously had the best record, and with Cooper Flagg healthy, this team's an obvious threat to win the title and should easily breeze through these first few games and make it to the Elite Eight and most likely Final Four. We'll see. And at number 1, I have Florida. Florida is 7-3 against top 25 teams right now, and they win by an average of 8.1 points per game. And they slaughtered basically every team they went against in the SEC tournament. That game against Tennessee in the SEC championship looked close. Trust me, folks, it really was not. And they're in the SEC. I feel like people need to acknowledge this. Most of the teams Duke has gone against are not. And the ones they have, yeah, they've come out with victories, but they've been they haven't had a reason to stress too much in the regular season. So, Charles, Max, what do y'all think of my list?
Yeah, Michigan State, I like. You mentioned their three-point defense, right? I think that's going to come in huge. You know, their three-point, every team's three-point percentage of the rate that they fire at every game is going higher and higher every year. So, obviously, three-point defense, perimeter defense is going to come in hand. So, I like that. I think Kentucky's a very exciting team to watch. You know, obviously, they had the upset on Duke. I think Kentucky...
I didn't have Kentucky in my top 10.
But you mentioned Kentucky, and I just want to say they're a very, very underrated team. I think that, maybe not Final Four, Elite Eight potentially, but I think it's an exciting team to, just watch throughout this tournament.
I feel like most of the list is fine. I can't believe you have Alabama over Auburn. That feels like just bias. I'm just kidding.
Game-winning shot, bro.
I think I don't know. I feel like Auburn's pretty good. I think Tennessee might be higher on my personal ranking. Obviously, Houston lower. I was just talking about that. I'm curious, who's your 11?
My 11?
Yeah, who'd your 11 be?
I'd probably say, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that too much.
Yeah, I think from a viewing perspective, it's the other 2 threes. I think it's. You can look at Iowa State, you can look at Kentucky. I'd want to make the case that Maryland is 11.
Actually, I was literally just thinking that. I think Maryland could be up there. They have a stout offense when it comes to the perimeter. They don't shoot as much, but they're very efficient from that. They have 37% shooting. So from the three-point line, so I could see that.
I think Maryland could even make 10, but that's just my take on that. But otherwise, good list. I think there's multiple teams that could have been a number 1 for me. Probably Florida, Duke, Auburn, maybe even Tennessee. But otherwise, yeah, great.
Let's hear your case for Tennessee real quick. I'm kind of curious.
My case for Tennessee? See, I don't know as much about basketball as y'all do, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, they're really good. And my intuition is telling me they're going to do good. But I'm the football guy, so that's where I stand on that.
Totally valid.
Listen, Tennessee ain't going to do much. I'll be very honest with you.
Whoa.
Listen, they're going to sell very hard. And I'm going to laugh because Kentucky should be... honestly, number 8 potentially, but I'll be happy if they're an 11 on your spot. But listen, Maryland, number 12, I'll be happy with that too. So,
World's biggest Kentucky Glazer right here. Big Kentucky guy. Are you a Kentucky fan?
No, I actually don't.
That's a lie. He is now.
I am now.
I hate
So-
Kentucky. I hate Kentucky so much. They're up there with Tennessee. All right, next up. Now we'll move to our next session, retro replay.
Yeah.
Retro replay. Yeah, you can explain it. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Oh.
All right, welcome back to retro replay, where we go over a game from the past, talk about it, discuss its legacy, see how enjoyable it was. So this one, Max has chosen the Chargers versus the Dolphins 1982 divisional round.
I love this game. This is one of my favorite games ever. I wish I was alive for it.
Really? All right, so going into this game, the Chargers had won their third AFC West title with a 10-6 record. They had a high-powered offense and led the NFL in scoring and passing yards and total yards. They were led by legendary Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts.
Hall of Famer.
Yes, who made the Pro Bowl for the third year in a row. And he tossed for 33 touchdowns with only 17 interceptions, which, by the way, today would lead the league. But back then, that was not that much, trust me. And his biggest receivers were Charlie Joyner,
Hall of Famer.
Wes Chandler, and Pro Bowl tight end Kellen Winslow.
Hall of Famer.
San Diego also had an outstanding rushing attack, led by Pro Bowl running back Chuck Muncie,
Chuck Muncie, baby.
who led the league with 19 rushing touchdowns. And next we got the Dolphins. The Dolphins finished the 1981 regular season, winning the AFC East with an 11-4-1 record. This is before Dan Marino, by the way, so they had two quarterbacks named David Woodley and Don Strock. Don Strock was regarded as the better one, but they had Woodley starting. And they had receivers Jimmy Cephalo, or Cephalo, however you say it, with 631 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Durrell Harris as the main deep threat. They had running back Tony Nathan, who was a top rusher on the Dolphins with 782 yards. Their best part was definitely their defense, which ranked 5th in the NFL for fewest points allowed, and they allowed just 27 points in their last 3 games prior to their playoff matchup against San Diego. So let's go over the game, Max.
All right, listen to this. I'm about to break this game down for you because this is one of my favorite games, and I'll explain why. First off, this is the Chargers. Like I was mentioning in my ad libs while you were giving your spiel, Dan Fouts, Hall of Famer. By the time Dan Fouts retired, is this a hair? Dan Fouts, when he retired, was the #1 all-time leading passer in NFL history. In fact, obviously now it's Tom Brady. Before that it was Breeze. Before that it was Favre. When Dan Fouts retired, it was Dan Fouts. Charlie Joyner's a Hall of Famer. Fun fact. I also have part of his jersey signed in my home with his signature. Chandler, other wide receiver, year after this, proceeded to have one of the greatest wide receiver seasons in NFL history. Some say the best, at least Pro Football Reference does. Kellen Winslow, Hall of Famer. So I'm a huge Chargers guy. That's why I picked this game. This is the best game in Chargers. This is the best moment in Chargers history, in my personal opinion, which is why I picked this. NFL 100, 2019. They rank this as the 4th best football game in NFL history. So I promise, I'm not just biased here. Going into this game, divisional round, obviously these are 2 teams fighting for the playoffs. Chargers coming up to this are coached by Don Coryell, Hall of Famer as of last year, 2 years ago, just got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Invented the Air Coryell offense.
Coryell, oh my goodness, it's one of the best offenses in the world. It's fully vertical. Pretty much every NFL team is kind of based off that nowadays. It's fully vertical offense. It's fantastic. The Dolphins are being coached by Don Shula. They're 10 years removed from Don Shula taking them to an undefeated Super Bowl season. He's still... Is he the most winningest coach in NFL history? I think he is. I think it's still Don Shula. I think it's still Don Shula.
Bill Walsh.
I think it's Don Shula.
Probably.
Hold on. Double checking. Winningest coach history. Come on. Work with me here.
It is.
Work with me. Oh,
Don
yeah.
Shula?
You bet your sweet Bibby it's Don Shula. Heck yeah. Okay. So like I said, Eric Coryell versus the winningest coach of all time. Some might say the best. I don't know. Bill Belichick, he's all right, I guess. The Dolphins, led by halfback Tony Nathan, famous Alabama running back. You ever seen that movie Woodlawn? That's about him. Going into this game, the temperature is 76 degrees Fahrenheit with 80% humidity, making it feel like 88. One of the hottest and most painful games in NFL history. It sucked for everyone involved. It was so hot. The next week, I won't spoil who won, because I guess you haven't said who won yet. I don't know. I'll make it suspenseful and entertaining. The next week, the team who won proceeded to play. What was it? Hold on. The team the next week proceeded. Oh, I just had it. Yo, hold on. Dude, this was the coldest NFL game of all time. The next game was the Freezer Bowl, in which the winning team of this game played the Bengals in -9 degrees Fahrenheit.
Good night.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It sucked. So anyway, this game, Miami Chargers. It's called the Epic in Miami. Some call it the miracle that died. the game no one should have lost. It starts off hot, like Charlie was saying. It's a huge high-scoring game, 41-38, 79 combined points. Crazy high scoring. San Diego takes a quick lead, 24-0 in the first quarter. Second quarter, flip that, Miami 17-0. Third quarter, 7-14. Now we're tied, right? We are tied. I can't even do math. How much is that? That's 31 points. We're tied at 31 going into the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, 2 touchdowns each.
That's because Miami put in Strock instead of Woodley because Woodley was actually terrible. He let San Diego get a 24-point lead on them, which sucked.
Yeah. Eric Coryell versus a quarterback by committee. Let's be real, guys. In this, one of the biggest plays kind of in the middle of that game there was the Tony Nathan hook and lateral. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that. It was Strock. He took a snap and he threw it to Dariel Harris. And then on the left, Harris caught the ball and immediately tossed it to Tony Nathan. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that play with, who was it, Travis Kelce and LaShawn McCoy. That's where they got it from.
I know exactly what you're talking
You know what I'm
about.
talking about? They got it from here. That's where they started. I don't know if it's where it started, but this was what made it good. So that was the coolest play. Skipping down to the fourth quarter, right now we're tied at 38. We're gonna drive. We being Miami, we're gonna drive down the field. Get a field goal. Blocked. Game does not go. Game is not won. Game goes into overtime. You know who blocked that field goal? Hall of Fame tight end Kellen Winslow, offensive player. That's like when they put Gronk in for the Miami Miracle.
Nah.
Except this time they actually stopped Miami.
That's insane.
Yeah, Winslow's 6'5", just get it down. Go into overtime. More Miami field goals. None of them hit. San Diego, boom, field goal, wins the game. So that's not even the best part about this. Moving after the game ended, Kellen Winslow, this is Kellen Winslow's best game. This is like the Kellen Winslow game. Kellen Winslow's best game of his career. He had such a game. Here, you know what? Why don't I just go ahead and find Kellen Winslow's stat line, all right? You know what? In Miami. Let's find this. Where's Pro Football Reference when you need him?
This is obvious. He's obviously the MVP of this game.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Kellen Winslow played like someone was after his contract. Hold on, where is this? Pass rushing receiver. Okay, Kellen Winslow had 13 receptions for 166 yards and a touchdown, and he blocked the game-winning field goal. I mean, it was absolutely insane. With that, he had to get carried to the locker room after that by 2 of his teammates because he put everything out on the play. That picture of him being carried to the locker room was seen to be one of the most famous pictures in NFL history, and is ginormous, about the size of like 4 of those windows in the staircase of the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
I gotta ask you a quick yes or no question: Antonio Gates or Kellen Winslow? All right, I'll say this: is Winslow better than Antonio Gates?
You know what?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
No.
I think Antonio Gates is the best Chargers tight end of all time. You know what? While we're at it, because I think this is a take that needs to be discussed. When we're talking the best tight ends of all time, recency bias is most applicable in any NFL discussion. Recency bias is the most prominent in the tight end race. Because
It's Gronk.
Okay, Gronk. Gronk's not the issue. Travis Kelce's the issue. Travis Kelce is not on the list.
I mean,
not.
5 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Okay, that's fine. Travis Kelce, if we're talking tight ends, in your kind of like Mount Rushmore per se, you have to have Tony Gonzalez. You have to have Antonio Gates. Okay? Kellen Winslow is deserving of a spot. Rob Gronkowski is deserving of a spot. Ozzie Newsome is deserving of a spot. John Mackey, Mike Ditka, Shannon Sharp. There are hold on, wait.
Jason Witten.
Sure, but there are so many. Not Jason Witten. I take that back. But there are so many tight ends who are more deserving of a high-ranking tight end spot than Travis Kelce. But all this recency bias in Patrick Mahomes has formulated the narrative of Travis Kelce being one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Sure, he's good. There's no taking that away from him. I mean, I think there's no doubt he's top 15, top 12 per chance, maybe top 10, maybe top 7. I don't know, but he's not top 4 in my opinion. If anything, top 4 is Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Gates, and then some combination of Kellen Winslow, Ozzie Newsome, John Mackey, Mike Ditka, Shannon Sharp, somewhere in that range.
I'll unleash my debate on our next episode on that. But real quick, let's rate this real quick. Okay, on entertainment, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you rating it? I'm rating it.
10 out of 10.
You're rating it a 10?
It is one of the most entertaining games in NFL history.
I'm gonna give it.
Cut to the highlight reel.
I'm gonna give it a 10 also. So
Fade to highlights. Fade to Kellen Winslow.
I rewatched the highlights. It actually was insane.
Can we get the picture of Kellen Winslow getting carried off the field right here? You see that? There you go.
All right, star power. I'd give
How
this.
many Hall of Famers played in this game?
I'd give this a solid 8.9.
Hold on, I'm looking how many Hall of Famers are in this game.
Charles, can you pull up your calculator real quick so you can like calculate some of the stuff for us?
Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 Hall of Fame coaches,
What do we have?
1 Hall of Fame quarterback,
So,
Hall
I'll
of Fame
tell
tight end, Hall of Fame wide receiver. There's definitely Hall of Fame offensive linemen on each roster. Hold on, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. I don't even know how you check Hall of Famers on our roster. PFR does not have that. On the Dolphins, I'll be honest, I don't know much about the Dolphins. On the Chargers, oh my word. Russ Washington, that's a Hall of Famer. Doug Wilkerson, that's a Hall of Famer. Who else is a Hall of Famer on this team? It might just be those 5 offensive players and a head coach. So that's 7 Hall of Famers in this game. That's some star power, if you ask me.
Impressive. What are you giving it on a scale of 1 to 10?
10, no bias. 9.4.
9.45.
I guess it's a 9.5, but I killed that.
Okay, so that's a 9.5. All right, legacy. Hold on.
Legacy.
What determines a game's legacy?
How impactful it was, how it like changed the game, how people look back at it and like thought like, oh my gosh, that's insane.
I'll give it an 8. 2 reasons. 1, bringing awareness to heat during NFL games. I think there's multiple reports I've read about like Kellen Winslow after the game, and like there might have been like 6 IVs. So more focus on like hydration and that sort of thing. Secondly, and I think this is the big impact of this game, is this is like the peak demonstration. Who's running? This is the peak demonstration of the Air Coryell offense, which there's no offense in the league today that doesn't have Air Coryell implemented or having Air Coryell affected it in some way. So I give it an 8 on legacy.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.4. I did not know too much about this game until I researched it. So Charles, what's the average there?
7.7.
7.7.
Okay, next up, rewatchability.
In today's world, that's tough because the YouTube footage. I mean, it's a game from 1982, so it looks like a game from 1982. But in terms of entertainment purposes, in rewatchability, I mean, I've rewatched the game multiple times, but I'm a huge Chargers fan, so I'd probably give it.
That's valid. I'm giving it a 6.9.
That's it. That's only a 7.
7.05.
Plus 7.1.
Wait, what?
My prediction's 8.5.
8.575.
Oh my goodness, 8.6.
Okay, overall score is 8.6.
Love to hear it, folks. I think it should be higher. I'd give it an 11, but that's just me.
That takes first place on our list of the 3 I've gone over so
What other
far.
games have we gone over so far?
So I went over the Miami Celtics Game 6 Eastern
okay.
Conference Final with Charles.
Good
We
game.
actually watched that too.
Game.
And then over the break, I went over Super Bowl. What was it? Super Bowl 54.
Ah.
Niners. It was the first one the Chiefs won, and that got an 8.4 from there. All right, next and final session. Overtime trivia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going into overtime, and this is March Madness edition.
What's our buzzer this time?
First to say it.
First to say
First
it.
to say it. Yeah.
First to say it.
Let's go.
All right, do not look at my computer. I will punch you if you look at my computer.
Oh.
All right. Which team won the first NCAA men's basketball tournament in 1939?
It's not this. It's like it's more. I think is it UCLA? No, is it UCLA?
Kentucky.
You both get 2 more shots.
Syracuse.
UNC.
No, the
Wait,
correct.
you said 2 more shots. Nebraska.
Michigan State.
It's an obscure team. I know that it is.
Wrong. It is Oregon.
Oregon.
What? Whoa.
Okay. Did not know that.
Lie.
All right.
It probably is.
Calling cats.
Yeah.
Which school has the most NCAA men's basketball titles?
UCLA.
Correct.
That's what it was. Yeah.
All right. Who is the only 16 seed to ever defeat a 1 seed in a men's tournament?
Aren't there 2 now? UMBC beat Virginia and Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue. Bonus points.
Oh.
Give me the bonus points.
Yes. you
That's
get
bonus points.
Max gets 2.
If it's from like the last 5 years, I'm gonna nail it. If it's a question of anything before that, I'm toast.
All right. Now, next. Which coach has the most NCAA tournament wins?
Coach K.
Correct. All right. What is the lowest seeded team to ever win an NCAA tournament?
8, 11.
Yeah, no, it's an 8, but who is it?
I don't know, to be honest. San Diego State.
Duke, UCLA, Kansas.
You're out of trust.
Ah!
I think I should at least get 1 point for saying the 8 seed.
You'll get half a point.
Dang.
Okay, whatever.
That's crazy.
But give me your answer. You still got two. You still got.
It was Wisconsin.
No.
Yeah.
The correct answer is Villanova. All right. Which 15 seed made the deepest run in tournament history?
Wait, what was you said 15 seed?
Yeah.
Can I ask for a conference?
I don't
Actually-
know, but this is recent.
Is it a mid-major?
I think so. This is recent. This isn't like.
It's not a Power 5 or a Group of 5?
This is like within the past 5 years.
Are you serious? This is a 15 seed?
Yeah.
Oh!
I know.
Is it the school with the peacock logo?
Yeah. It's
Just give me the name.
Is that like, oh my goodness. Wait, who is the peacock? It's not St. Mary, wait.
I thought St. Mary's was Peacock. I could be totally wrong.
I think is it a Saint? It's gotta be a Saint.
It's the same.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's why I'm getting mixed up. Mary. I don't know.
We said St. Mary.
One more try.
Oh wait. Yeah. I'm an idiot.
You used up a try, dude.
St. Paul.
No, you got one more try.
St. Francis?
No, none of y'all got it. It's St. Peter's. Shout
Yeah.
out to all my Kentucky
Can I
fans
get
out there.
can I get a quarter of a point for the peacock logo?
No.
Okay.
All right.
I think I get a quarter of a point for the Saint part as well.
No, you don't. All right.
We'll share half a point.
No, you
Sure.
Okay.
don't. Okay. What is the biggest comeback in NCAA tournament history?
Ugh.
By how many? By how many and like what teams was it?
30 points. Vikings over the Colts. I have no idea. I have genuinely no
Okay,
idea.
I'm gonna give this a 0. It was BYU overcame a 25-point deficit versus Iona in 2012.
I was gonna say a 23-point deficit, but
The fact that Iona had the lead over them that's hilarious to me.
All right. What team made the Final Four as an 11 seed for the first time?
Loyola Chicago? Right, because that was the first time. They have a tournament win, don't they? They won in the 60s.
San Diego. I don't know.
North Carolina State. No, they also have a championship in the 80s.
You have one more try. You have 2 more.
A&M Texas. I don't know.
No.
Why'd you reverse the tie? Wait,
LSU.
when was that?
1986.
Okay, so there it is.
Yeah. I was not getting that.
All right. Which double-digit seed has made the most appearances in the Final Four?
Wait,
Like what number seed?
12.
No.
3.
No.
What?
Because that's a double digit.
Oh,
right?
double digit. My bad. 10.
No.
11. What double digit? 3?
All right. Which team made a buzzer beater 3-pointer to win the national championship in 2016?
Villanova.
Yes. Well, would you look at that?
I was
He knows
hoping you
what
said
the
like
number
1981, and I was just going, UNC.
Okay. Adding all these points up is going to be
Shout out friendship with Josh Hart, Mikael Bridges, and Jalen Brunson.
New York Knicks, baby.
All right.
Is that the team that they're all on now? Or is that
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who holds?
So sorry, Dante. We all love you.
All right. Who holds the record for most points in an NCAA tournament?
Fletcher frickin' McGee.
NCAA.
In a tournament?
Trey Young.
No, I'll give you a year and a team. Michigan, 1989.
Christian Leitner.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, I have no idea. I really don't know.
His name is Glenn Rice. He scored 184 points.
What's he doing now?
Good question. All right, next question. Both of you. Oh, are we looking this up?
Oh, no, never mind. He did go to the NBA. He works with the Heat now.
Hmm.
All right,
I thought he was selling insurance.
both of you better be ready to grab the mic. Which player hit the famous Christian Leitner shot in the 1992 Elite Eight?
Christian Leitner?
What was this? Okay. 3 points for Max. All right.
Everybody hates Christian Leitner.
Who is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA tournament history?
Glenn Rice. Fletcher McGee.
Ooh.
DJ Burns.
No, you're out of tries.
Okay. Jimmer. Wilt.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
You don't count. All right.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
No.
Is that actually it?
Yeah, no, I know.
Christian Leitner.
Bro.
I swear. I didn't even know those questions were on there before I guessed him wrong on the other questions.
All right. Which player holds the record for most points in a single Final Four game?
Christian Leitner.
No.
Jimmer Fredette.
Drew Timmy.
No.
Malik Monk.
Oh. No, bro. You get one more shot. No. The fact that none of y'all got this is insane. It was 44 points. It was Bill Walton.
That one was easy, I guess.
Beyond my reach.
All right. Which NBA legend never played in the NCAA tournament despite being dominant in a college career at LSU?
Anthony Edwards.
Shaq.
I knew Anthony Edwards.
Angel Reese.
Played at Georgia.
Angel Reese.
He said dominant. Dominant career. He played at LSU. Did you say Shaq already? Who played at LSU? Did Kobe play at LSU?
No.
Where did Kobe play?
He went undrafted. Did he not?
He?
No, like
18.
he didn't play in college. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't mean. Yeah.
Who played at LSU? Hakeem Olajuwon.
You're out of tries.
Am I an idiot? Did Hakeem O play it? Did he play at Virginia Tech? Who's Clyde Drexler's teammate at Virginia Tech?
Yeah. I don't know this one, to be honest.
All right, I'll give you the answer then. Pete Maravich.
Didn't know he played at LSU.
Wait, I could have told you that. Wait, what was the question again? Was Pete Maravich who's not playing in the tournament?
Yeah.
Fun fact, I went to the same middle school as Pete Maravich.
So, before we continue on with the questions, we have a guy who knows the former Dallas Mavericks GM. We have a guy who went to the same school as Pete Maravich, even though he doesn't go there anymore.
Most of my friends, I didn't go to the high school because it was before I moved, but a lot of my friends went to the same high school as Pete Maravich.
Insanity. All right, now we got to move on because it's
I nailed it. Hakeem O played for Virginia Tech. Anyway, continue.
we need to move on because you have somewhere to be in a few minutes. Well,
I have like 30 minutes.
all right. What is the first year the NCAA tournament expanded to 64 teams?
1978.
89.
2 more tries for both of you.
1989.
76.
Whoa. Wait. Oh, I thought one of y'all got it.
84.
No.
72.
You're out of
70,
time.
78. 78.
I already said
No.
it.
Oh, my bad.
73.
74, 75, 76.
It's 1985.
1942.
What? All right.
Wait, is it 32?
No, it's 1985.
I'm kidding. I'm
All
kidding.
right.
1946.
What is the name of the song that played after every NCAA tournament champion is crowned?
We Are the Champions by Queen.
I don't know.
We Are the Champions by Queen.
No.
Style by Taylor Swift.
Purple Rain by Prince.
Mo Bamba.
One shining moment.
I got home.
Okay, which coach has the most Final Four appearances?
Mike Krzyzewski.
Yes.
Update, St. Mary's is up by 1 on Vanderbilt,
Oh, shoot.
which is crazy when 20 minutes ago I said Vanderbilt's going to beat Alabama. So I'm hoping that changes. Oh, 3 points now. I'm hoping that changes.
All right. Which conference has produced the most NCAA tournament champions?
Pac-12.
Yes.
I had to think about what conference UCLA was in.
I was going
Alright.
to say SEC.
One more question, and if you get this one, this is going to be the equivalent of Chris Paul cutting the lead to 42.
Wait, what's the lead? What's the score right now?
I am not counting, but you've gotten more than Charles.
Okay, sick. Good to know.
What team lost 3 national championship games, 3 straight, from 1990 to 1992?
Buffalo Bills.
UConn.
Michigan.
LSU.
Kansas.
UNC.
Kentucky.
No, it was Duke.
Bob
Duke.
Jones University.
St. John's.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Max officially wins in a dominant fashion against Charles in overtime trivia. Max will be keeping the belt. If you want to go against him in overtime trivia, you can join us on our next episode. DM our Instagram. We'll get you on there. You'll be able to get the belt, the shirt, the precious blue shirt that everybody loves so much. So thank you for tuning in to From the Cheap Seats. I'm Charlie Jimenez.
Yeah, I'm Charles Campbell.
Buy tickets for Mr. Sanford. I'm Max Tomlinson.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.